Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with you all today. Good to see you, Brayhard. Good to see you, Inca. Good to see you, Mel. Good to see you, Kit. And hope everyone is having a good day. And good to see you, Craig. And Brayhard, congratulations. You've won the crown of Furstendom yet again. I'm beginning to think I should make a rule that mods shouldn't have it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yes, I'm also happy to see Merry Christmas to you, Inca and Mel. Glad that it was a little test to make sure people were reading the Discord notifications. And yes, Kit, time does march ever onward. The Tempest will not stop fugiting until morale improves. And there's a lot of room for improvement. So anyway, we're going to be playing more Banjo-Kazooie today. You passed the test with flying colors. Anyway, let's dive on into some Banjo-Kazooie. I remembered to put on the retro filter. Let me know if you like it more or less. Anyway, last time we tried to get this crocodile's Jiggy, but he cheated. So we need to cheat, but we can't cheat yet because we don't know how to. So we're gonna go do other things as a bird and bear. Will not stop fugiting until my soul and everybody exists at the same time. Yeah, shout out to the new Heaven and New Earth for not having time. Huge improvement, honestly. What do you mean I ran out of... Ow! I ran out of boot juice. Worst trade deal. History of trade deals. What did it get? Bite of an apple? Yeah, exactly. Man, it's sour and gross. It should be sour apples, or sour grapes. It should be sour apples. Hey, speaking of bad tasting things, I ordered some candy. It should be here next week. I have been warned. Oh, and he is just gonna respond with the candy spit. Candy? Candy, yes. I'll save it as a surprise, but one of them is flavored like, I think it was lilacs. Chili Chew Sour Buds. Yeah, last time I couldn't, but I do not have mess tonight. Oh, and Brayhard is helping out here with a candy spin too. Oh boy. So these are like Sour Patch Kids, but rolled around in chili paste. And a father joke. Oh, well, hold on. I have a... I'm on Game of Favorites tomorrow, and I bought some props, so I must ask you a question. These are so stale. Something's gone wrong with the wheel. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know. It's spicy and sour and very hard. I don't know what went wrong with the wheel in OPS, so I pulled it up on the web. You got a ginger pastille. They're not the worst tastes to go together, but that doesn't mean they're good. Whoa. That's like real organic ginger. A year later, I'm finding out that no one put the dang policy in the system. What? I don't know what that means, but I'm going to be annoyed. Whoa! Hello, Ginger. Hey, Brie! We have an urge to bake, but don't know what. Chocolate potato cake. It's from 1912. What? Yeah, chocolate potato cake. It's a real thing. I made one for Christmas. You put a whole potato in the cake. Okay, we found all the notes. That's really helpful, actually. Oh, that was bad. Oofda. No, that's all I have to say. Otherwise, Brie, I would say brownies. Brownies are always good. Chocolate chip cookies. I'm just thinking of things I'd eat. It's actually a pretty long list. The hot pepper is making the ginger extra flavorful. I'm having a flavor experience, chat. You do have everything for chocolate potato cake. Let's go. It is legit really good, actually. It's a really nice cake. It's like a spice cake. Wait, where was that croctopus? I was not paying attention. Yeah, it's like a spice cake with chocolate in it. It's really nice. And the potato makes it kind of dense. And chewy. I have need of your honeycombs. Well, I got a honeycomb. No! The analog stick is too sensitive. I need to move. Ow, I was sitting on my leg. Where did that thing go? Why did I not pay attention? Nope, it's not over here. Camera! As I was turning, the camera decided, haha, what if we turn too? It's the only way I haven't checked in terms of finding that croctopus. Yes, that's what they're called. Oh, there he is. Music is so jaunty. Whoop, no. I guess I probably didn't need these boosts to get over here, but... Gold get. Well? Okay, let's retry this timer one over here, because that should be the last one before we've done everything in this world that we can at this point. Or we just like one Jiggy from the dude. Oh, I was so worried I fell off there. Yep, 9 out of 10 Jiggies. That's pretty awesome. Let's get out of here. Let us go to Gobi Desert. Which means desert. Much like Sahara Desert means desert. And Chad Lake means lake. Brie? You missed what the second candy was? It was Ginger Castile. Which was extra potent thanks to the spiciness of the first one. Chai tea? Exactly. ATM machine? Torpenhow Hill. What? How you doing, Sub-Zero? my neck. Would I call this game much fun for Mumbo? I think Mumbo's having a great time. Oh, I thought the desert was... Well... I guess you could do Freeze Easy Peak first, but I think the desert is the next level. But while we're here, it would be rude not to. Also, this is probably one of the best ice levels in a 3D platformer. Oh, I need to be the pumpkin. There's a sentence. I know we pressed the witchy switch, so I think it's the other tunnel we need to take. Oh, I thought there was a second... I thought there was a second tube. Apparently not. Where does this witchy switch? I don't remember. Why do you talk all the time? I don't know, I just cut you off. Maybe it's related to that one. I think it is. So many sound effects in this game. Okay. So there's the entrance to the desert. Yes, I did just remember that that was back there. Kazooie, please. Gobi's Valley, there we go. Yeah, what do y'all think of the CRT filter on an N64 game like this? I think it definitely makes things look softer, but it does make it look darker. There's a filter? There is. No filter. Filter. No filter. Filter. I've been messing around with the CRT filter to try and get it just right. You rock no filter? I think it works better on the Super Nintendo games. Now, Step Zero, did you not see the filter until I said something? Oh, really? Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, I need to tweak it a little bit with the how it messes with the brightness, but it's a little finicky. But I do notice that when it's on, it does the scanline thing where things look softer. So like pixels and polygons are less obvious. Find one more move in here. Move over bottles, I'll find it. I thought there was a Jinjo down there. Whoop! Oh, you get back on that Sphinx's paw. Hey, chat, did you know the plural of Sphinx is sphinges? Greek is this weird language. I don't know about how Greek declensions work. You land a lot better. I seem to recall that Latin... What is this? That has more cases, but they're simpler to memorize? I forget. It's been so long since I've touched either language. I like Ethiopian because it's a very reflexive-based language. There are some rules, but 11's also just vibes. It's crazy that you know Ethiopian of all languages. Not just Ethiopian, ancient Ethiopian. Look, everyone needs a hobby, right? It's not my fault I got an A in that class. Wait, yes it is. No! Yeah, you have your treasure. Grandpa's got a jiggy. Yeah, leave me alone. No, I said leave me alone, you scarab. You detritivore. That's right, I went there. That's not what I meant to do. I will, however, climb toward this. Not ready to go flying quite well. You should go flying. I'm trying to think of the best order to do this world in. Actually, while we're up here. My doggy got walked up. Nope. It's like I never left. Go clear Jinxie's nose. Enter. No. That's okay. Mummy hand. No. No, you're not my mummy. That's cheating. What even is 5th gen 3D platforming without massive punishments for annoying controls? Better. That's what. Besides, who's gonna stop me? The Nintendo police? They're the ones who put this in here. Yep, I mean to slip off quite like that. Later! Alright, that's everything inside of Jinxie the Sphinx. Which is a sentence. Oh. Baloney. I know they're not for everyone, but I quite enjoy 3D platformer collectathons. And there's something very just kind of like mentally calming of like looking at it and going, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta do this little chunk, and then I gotta do this little thing, and then I gotta go get the notes over here. Summon all the hidden rings to open the ancients to beat the witch. Okay. These statues kind of look like they'd sound like Droopy Dog. Ah, these flying controls. They are flying controls of all time. I thought this one was over here. It is, okay. Only joking, mortal. We only give you this. Well, you know. It's better than nothing. I don't have the thing for that. Easier way to get that Mumbo token later, so I won't worry about it for right now. I will get these notes, though, because they're just chilling. They're just hanging out. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. The timer is going through most of that cutscene. If you don't slide off like that, you won't make it. Who's ready to play memory matching? It's literally children's card games. I wonder where the last one could be. Chat, do you know? Write in your answers and mail them in. It may take 3 to 5 business weeks. Truly, the final boss of this game is the camera. Business weeks? Yeah, it's like a business day, but longer. That's 15 to 25 days. 15 to 25 business days. And then think how long until the reply comes back. This world has so many steps. First you gotta feed the things, then you gotta raise the pyramid, then you gotta go in the pyramid, then you gotta solve the pyramid. This is King Sandy Butts. Haha, butt. He said butt. Oh, that's dead end. I had the like Prima strategy guide as a kid, and I used to like study this to memorize it. I don't remember it now. No, the bear survived. He's after the king's ancient relic. Actually, I'm after that witchy switch. Right, back to the panic music. This music sounds like what it's like to have a panic attack. Hey, Bad Roxy. This is a really fun panic attack. Thanks, I hate it. Well, I think that's the last of that panic attack music that we have to hear for a while, so... Whee! Hey, Beer Fox. Cool. You think she's saying Ringo? I thought she was saying Breagle. That never happened. Let's get a honeycomb, which I really haven't been caring about. Camera. There's poor Gobi stuck to a rock. I do not have enough time to make it up that. I need the run, go fast shoes. Grunty's race you cannot beat until you find some faster feet. Don't talk about my feet like that, Grunty. Makes me uncomfortable. I'm trying to remember where Bobbles is in this world so I can learn the move. Jinjo. That's what you're thinking of. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Oh, here's your reward, Bear. Gobi's off to cool down. Wow. Yeah, Jinjo! Is Bobbles just down here by the entrance? Is that where he's hiding out? Sometimes he likes to hide out by the entrance. Oh, this tree looks a bit thirsty, but I need all my water for myself. Sweat. Not anymore. There's cool speedrun tech in this level. How the game loads the environment, walking backwards to avoid a blocker. Nice. I can imagine. I've watched a speedrun of this forever ago. It was ridiculous. In all the best ways. Pot roast is done. Let's go. I want some pot roast. Bring mashed potatoes. Oh. If I could, I would. Sorry, all we have is mushrooms. No! How dare. Do you not learn the speed shoes here? Also, it's kind of weird that you need to learn to put on shoes, especially after you've already learned how to put on boots. Just saying. Now, no, get the Jinjo Jiggy. Because we're gonna die down here, unfortunately. Because I thought that Jinjo was the flight pad. We survived? Let's go annoy Gobi one more time. This poor camel hates us, and rightly so. Oh, that's it. I'm leaving this desert to find some peace and quiet. People need to squeeze it through the eye of a needle. I'd be mad too. Okay, well now we die. What's wrong, Banjo? Is it tough? Let me know when you've had enough. Okay, so we did at least get all the Jinjo, so we don't have to recollect them. I do need to get a few more notes. Yeah, where is Bottles in this level? He must be in the pyramid I don't have yet, so I must get the Speedy Shoes in the Frosty area, which I didn't think he did, but maybe I'm misremembering. Oh well. On to best ice level. Don't desert the valley without finding the new move. I'm sure you'll be needing it later. Hey, Brody. Technically Clemente, but is the Kazooie banjoing immensely? Hi, Flame. He remembers. I do. It took me a moment, but I do remember. Flame, I'm surprised you weren't joining in on the incredibly cursed visual novel last night as a voice. The pig's got another new move waiting. If you can find it. Oh, sad children.
Where's our presents? Our cat Boggy said he was fetching them. He's been gone ages. Where?
Goff is tomorrow. I could see them using this walking sound. I assume you mean like the crunching on the ice sound. Look at this lazy, good-for-nothing dad. Oh, my stomach aches. I shouldn't have eaten that shiny thing. Someone help poor Boggy. I should like to play Okami on stream at some point. Should I do that as RPG Monday or as Throwback Thursday? Def Throwback. Rude. ¿Por qué no los dos? Well, a couple things. All at once. Play it twice a week.
Time for some aerial action with my devastating beat bomb attack.
Nice one, Goggles. Tell me more.
When you're flying, press B to launch Kazooie at a target, like a missile. Choose your targets carefully, though, as it costs a red feather each time you use it.
Huh. Later bottles. Takes about 44 hours. I believe it. It is kind of a long game. Dance Dance Revolution Arcade, yes. Samuel.
Where the Twinklings protect us from twinkly munchers as we hop across to our tree. If enough of us get it there, we can light the tree for you.
Well, I'm almost at 600. I need to figure out what I want to do for my 600 follower, and I do enjoy doing things like with the community. Please choose 53, main story 33. Oh no, Expedition 33 mentioned. I'm triggered. I'm gonna cry now. Zerp. Oh, look at those graphics. Zero Quizlet things are mega marathon. Oof. See, the problem with that is writing enough questions for it. Like, there's a reason I do those quarterly. Basically, I come up with ideas over the course of a couple of months, and then I write the questions a week in advance. Fewer question submission we each make a round. They can't all be name a character from Concord. You know, I actually use Wikipedia not a ton when I am writing a medium or ton Quizlet. Sorry, wrong channel there, Flame. Gonna need 1,000,000 channel points somewhere else. Is that tree tars? No, it's just a tree. It's a perfectly normal tree. We're just a very small bird and bear. Camera, please. Okay, I thought... Nope. No. This is the one where you have to fly through the star. And then you can get the star inside, or the Jiggy inside the tree, I think. It's very convoluted. It is, as the children say, all according to Keikaku. Translator's note. Oh yeah, and it's not just fly through it once. That would be too easy. But at the last one, big number celebration, 500, we did Peak. That was a lot of fun. And for 400, we did the Magic the Gathering Gladiator. That was a fun time. I enjoyed that. Post-holiday problems. I want a treat. I always want a treat. Look, that's, for me, that is not a post-holiday problem. That is an always life problem. Well, just because you missed the Gladiator event doesn't mean you can never play Gladiator with me. Just hit me up. No, bad flame. No. Don't make me get the spray bottle. This last J was there for a reason. Yeah, well, Flame took it differently. Not the spray bottle! Yeah, you are fire, so. Hello! Oh, it's a nasty, fierce bear. Bring hair crust, meet Bulbasaur? Why? Is this a Pokemon anime joke that I'm not getting because I haven't actually truly watched the anime? Or it cold? Or is it just buggy grass? Yeah, but my Heracross is already level 44. I don't need to level it up much, unfortunately. Why is Jice cube there? Well, your salt deck is mono white control. It's a sentence. Fish? I made a substandard fish deck. It was mostly for the jokes. What is this emoji? That is the logo of Busted Halo. I have it right here in the gold and white version. It's our O of Busted Halo. It's a peach ring. No! I hate those. No! You're saying control deck based around not losing rather than winning? Yeah. It also removes all the threats. Time to give training! Well, you have fun with that. I don't know why I slid off there. To the top of the hat. Ow, rude. That's right, there's just notes up here. It was like, oh, is this gonna be a bigger one when we get to fight him for a jiggy? Nope. This way. Okay, I think that's everything here. So let's take the sled. A cinematic experience. Oh, that's better. Hey, you found my sled. I'll go and practice for the big race now. See ya, buddy. Weren't you picking up gifts for your children? Did you not want to finish that first, buddy? He's not a very good dad. In the sequel, his kids become total brats. You're welcome, children. I am Santa now.
We've all got our presents. Here's something for you. Our life savings.
Is that game that kids in the late 1900s used to play? Listen here, you. Remember playing this game in the 1900s? I do too, but I hate it phrasing it that way.
Oh, hello again, buddy. I'm waiting for someone to race me.
We'll race you, numbutt.
Oh, sorry, you're too big for my sled. Oh, they raised someone a little smaller.
Yeah, that water is a bit cold for me. So I was trying to avoid it. Hey, dear Hope. How you doing? Okay. There should be a flight pad. Oh, I know where it is. It's underneath that guy. No! I missed. That's more or less what I wanted to do. Excuse me. Excuse me? I think that one should have hit. No! I aimed too low. I was like, oh, maybe I'll use Kazooie's head to aim the Kazooie attack. No. No, why would that be where you're aiming? Yeah. Beehive, tell me your secrets. Okay, now let's fly to Mumbo's. And we can become one of the best animal transformations, in my opinion. Oh, wait. I don't remember if these guys will respawn if I leave. So I'm just gonna grab this now. Mumbo Jumbo? Maximum. And in the sequel, there's Humba Wumba. You transformed me into this. Why are you insulting me, Mumbo? I was like, oh, I've gotten fat. Does he jump thumb? Only with Jumba-Wumba. Tub Thumping is one of those songs that I know exists, but I can never remember how it actually goes. Oh, I meant to press the wrong button.
Right, now all you need to do is steer your sled through the red slalom gates to beat me to the end. Got it? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Wahey! Wahey!
You cheated! You pushed me out of the way, you jerk! This cheater. That was close. Oh, that's right. Tub thumping is you get knocked down and you get up again. Get good, perhaps? You've watched me stream for years. You know that's not happening.
Wow, another walrus. Take this, but watch out for a smelly brown bear and his ugly bird partner. Why, hello again, Mr. Walrus. Feel free to have a look around Waz's cave.
Don't mind if I don't. Okay, I'm done being a walrus. Although I think Champagne would be happy to have a friend. Can you turn into a walrus in real life? No. No. Just no. Divine Gubanaka to you too, Mumbo. Only a small donation, $1 billion. Father Evan can transform himself into a walrus. I think there's a lot else I would do with $1 billion before becoming walrus. Eek! Bear cat. Oh, take that noisy orange thing with you. Leave. Look, Chad, it's the ice key. A key made of ice. What a terrible thing to make a key out of. Oh, I see people typing to me in Teams. Oh no! Quick, look the other way. Okay, we need to find the green Jinjo, and then we can go back to Gobi's desert, pond, oasis, whatever. Well, I'm sure a lot of folks know this already, but the ice key there, originally you were supposed to be able to collect it. If you can glitch it, there are ways to collect it still. Like, it goes into your inventory. But they were experimenting with what they called stop and swap, where for the sequel you would plug this game in for a moment. Fancy your race? No. No race against you because I'm not fast enough. I need some shoes. But yeah, you were supposed to be able to, like, get one thing from one game and put it into the other. By removing the cartridges, because the RAM would store for just long enough. And then Nintendo found out they were doing that and was like, please don't do that to the hardware. And don't have the consumer do that to the hardware. That's a terrible idea. And so Rare said, okay. Oh, I know what I'm missing. I was like, we have the race, but we can't do that yet because we don't have the shoes. We have to hit the snowman's buttons. We literally have to press his buttons, chat. And gold appears. If you had $1 billion, you turned me into a walrus. I think you need my consent to do that sort of thing. My daycare keeps sending us pictures of baby at a MySpace angle. Showed up his sick head. Is he friends with that one guy that everyone was friends with at MySpace? I never had a MySpace. back to potatoes. Well, there you go.
Hey, best note score was 100. We never have to touch notes there ever again.
It's not 14, so I can't have my space. Well, you know. But maybe there's another baby at the daycare who has the same name as that dude. Yep. Bum, ba-dum, bum.
You'll find one more move here, Banjo.
I know. I didn't find it last time, so I know I have to find it again. And I have to go back into Jinxie because there are notes in there. No! Everything's fine. Everything worked out brilliantly. Whatever you say, Father. Oh, I'm still alive. Hello, my friend. I am Ruby. Can I be of some assistance?
We're looking for treasure, pipe boy.
Ah, very good. I see some up there. It's yours if you can get it. Yes? I'm so good at video games. Any cool plans for the weekend? I need to figure that out. Ah, 1,000 thanks. My friend, Istup will now help you with your quest. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what I want to do on Saturday. Should come hang out. Ah. Tickets be expensive, yo. No, and it's also going to be a rainy weekend, so that's kind of a thing where I'm like, ugh, how much do I really want to go out? Yeah, it's funny. New York City, there's a million things to do, and yet sometimes you're just like, I don't want to do any of them. I don't know, what do you think I should do here in New York this weekend, chat? It is also expensive. I do have a membership to the Met, because I go enough times during the year that it's worth it. but it's not like if I had a membership to every museum. Extreme. I love y'all, but I kind of like to take my day off to be my day off. Being placed like a child? Yeah, I get dizzy really quickly. Experience that childlike wonder. I don't think nausea is childlike wonder. How would I imagine the stars look like? That is an option. I was kind of thinking, what is something I could do to get me outside of my house? Yes, yes, Grandma, I know. I'm too slow. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, darn. Guess what's that? Oh, you know, we can't see this place come to life like in that movie. Small problem is that the Smithsonian's in Washington, D.C. Oh, here's Bottles. Just chill up here.
There's running shoes. Biggie wears them on her scrawny feet to make her run real fast for a while.
Is that really something I have to learn? Let's just look at the movie's Wikipedia article. No, there you go. It does take place in New York. It's at the Natural History Museum, which is a really cool museum. Which shouldn't be too crowded at this time of year. Maybe I'll do that. But the Smithsonian is in DC. Take a selfie with a caveman. No, that wasn't you. That was Grandma. I think last time I took a picture in the Smithsonian Museum, it was of a walrus. I don't know why the timer keeps counting during the cutscene. That's cheating. Made it. Okay, now we just have to get all the notes and we're done. Yeah, Rami Malek. He's a fun actor. He's really interesting, Mr. Robot. Yeah, Guri. Oh yeah, he was a Bond villain. I have not actually gotten around to seeing that one yet. He was? Yeah, in No Time to Die. I believe it's the one it was. This Bond movie, that was Skyfall. Skyfall was a good one. I'll watch James Bond shoot good at House of Powers. I'm just glad that From Rewatch with Love did the two that were the non-Aeon Film Productions Bond movies. Which Roman Emperor is my favorite? I can't say that I really have a favorite Roman Emperor. I don't know, can we count Holy Roman Emperors? Maybe Constantine? Or not Constantine. Charlemagne? Magna Carta's a pretty cool thing, so... Sneezing cleared up his sinuses? Well, so did shooting eggs into his nose. I don't ask a question. Adrian had a pretty dope wall. Nope. Why are you so slippery? Video game logic? No, I don't play video games. What? No. What is Banjo-Kazooie about? So this bear here, his name is Banjo. The bird in his backpack is Kazooie. Banjo has a little sister named Tootie, who has been kidnapped by a witch who is going to steal her beauty and transfer it to herself. And a mole told us all of this, and so now we have to go into the witch's lair to rescue our sister and make her not ugly. The 90s was a lot simpler with plot plot writing. Yeah, I'm back. I need notes on the other end of this. It's you. Welcome back. You describe original Mario Bros. Yeah. Bowser bad, kidnap princess, plumber must save. Unless you want me to describe the movie, in which case John Leguizamo and I forget who the other actor is, get very drunk. They apparently were basically drunk the entire time of that. My favorite video game, my favorite genre, probably 2D platformer. I'm a big fan of good 2D platformer. 1900s or similar games. Okay, listen here, you. Bob Hoskins, that's right. Yeah, they really did hate the whole experience. And based on the stories, I don't know if I blame them. It does sound like it was pretty bad working conditions. Okay, where are those 5 notes I'm missing? They're probably all, like, clustered together somewhere. Yeah, it was not a... I mean, it's not a good movie, period, but, like, it was not a good production. Oh, you can still enjoy the movie. I'm not saying you can't. So we went in there. Oh, that's where they are. No, I did the go fast thing. It truly is a movie of all time. I did the swimming once. Blade Runner environment for kids. Yeah, they really wanted to make something kind of darker and edgier. They were making a Mario movie. But we did get the great line. His last name is Mario? His first name is Mario? Yeah, he's Mario, and I'm Luigi Mario. Nope. I thought I could run on that. Because I was going so fast. So you can run on the water. Where are these 5 stupid notes? Show yourself as busy. So show me he's inactive on Teams. That's smart. Filmed the abandoned Ohio smelting factory. I imagine Ohio has a decent number of those. What was my favorite video game? Probably currently Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Answer all of them. Also good. Here they are. I couldn't see them because of the render distance. Okay, we are done with Gobi's Valley. Now let's go to... I think it's the Haunted Mansion next. Keeping the Legend of CDI games. I've never played those. I have seen enough gameplay, though, to know that they're probably very low on the list. I have played Legend of Arzette, though, which is basically a fan love letter to them. Haunted Mansion, would there be ghosts? Mostly spooky, scary skeletons, but a few ghosts. But we have to get the Jiggy in here first. Father Evan played the mobile Kingdom Hearts games. I think you can say he's an actual gamer. I don't know if that qualifies me as a gamer so much as it qualifies me as a fanboy. Ah, dang it. Should have broken that first. I was gonna say Glad for Punishment. That too. That too. Favorite franchise? As a whole, probably Donkey Kong Country. Although, Kingdom Hearts. It's either Kingdom Hearts or Donkey Kong Country for favorite franchise. What's the game I liked the least? Honestly, Captain Bible and the Dome of Darkness was pretty bad. What's Captain Bible? It is a comic book series. And a very bad video game. It is basically exactly what it sounds like with a name like that. Ow. Okay, well, whatever. Oh, it's Protestant for sure. You hated Rainbow C6! Sure you'd love because of the Rainbow Badger videos. Russian Badger. Well, that's the thing about content creators. We can make bad games look good. Not all of us. But some of us. Favorite piece of Catholic fiction? I'd have to like be looking at a list to really think of names, I think. Yeah, it's just him and his friends having fun, not the game. Yeah. I think that happens. Okay, this is to Rusty Bucket Bay. We're not going there yet. I like how Hal makes everyone look better standing next to him. Oh, poor Hal. Be nice to Hal. Hal's a good guy. Yeah, that's your brother. He's your brother. That's how you know they really are siblings. I didn't slip off the edge there. I don't know what you're talking about. Hal just went live. Is there humor in the Bible? There absolutely is. Cheap bears. Yeah, there's, John was very deliberate to be like, I outran Peter. One of my favorite bits is, that's humorous, is, I can't remember the prophet's name all of a sudden. Anyway, it's the line, "You duped me, O Lord, you duped me, and I let myself be duped." I think Jesus used humor. There's a bit in the Gospels where he's like, you know, before you remove the speck from your brother's eye, remove the plank from your own. And I would imagine, you know, it is a humorous image. You know, imagine having a whole 2x4 in your face, and you know, probably the people around him chuckling, going, "Yeah, oh yeah, no, that metaphor is accurate." Yeah, there's a lot of that. Jeremiah, thank you. All I was, my brain was like, it's a J name, and was saying Judith, and it's like, it's not Judith. Judith is awesome, but it's not Judith. No, I don't think Noah counts as a prophet. He's a patriarch. Although I believe in Byzantine iconography, you typically refer to any Old Testament figure that is canonized as a prophet. So sometimes you'll see the prophet king David in iconography. Oh yeah, the thing on the mountain where he's like, "Oh, I guess your god fell asleep." Mad Monster Mansion. Well, then there's Abraham. You made me think of this kid. Going to God and being like, what if I find 50 people? Okay, what if I find 45? Okay, crazy thought. What if I found 40? I think some of the humor in the Bible we don't necessarily always realize because, 2,000 plus years of cultural difference. It's not always as obvious. If we were to tell, let's face it, if we cited a meme to someone from the 1st century, they would look at us like we had 3 heads. Ow. I didn't mean to fall there, but the camera did. Oh, yeah, no, I think pop culture references are just a thing we as humans have done. And maybe they were more verbal, but, I'm sure they exist. What's so funny about the number 6 followed by the number 7? I don't understand. Well, okay, I don't understand either. You're thinking of Jonah? Oh, that too. I was like, no one didn't deal with any Ninevites from what I recall, but maybe you got that Bible DLC. That's how I like to refer to the Deuterocanonical books. They're Bible DLC. Although ain't no one got to the level of Bible DLC as the Ethiopian church. It's like 81 books in their canon? Why are people laughing at pictures with words? No, I think they'd get that one. Cats have always been that way. $1881. Is that a good year? Was one a good year? Icon has... Okay, well, maybe not Icon has cheeseburger. That's actually a pretty tame meme, but there's a lot of also random XD memes. So whenever people are like, oh, Gen Z and Alpha just have the weirdest memes, like, I mean, yes, but Millennials and Gen X have also had plenty of weird memes. I thought there was a Jiggy down here in one of these. This one has one of the stop and swap things that I was talking about earlier. Homestar Runner. Yeah, there you go. As if we weren't shouting taco at each other, free from context. I think we went to different schools. Anyway, let the kids have their memes. Also, get off my lawn. would the apostles find funny in our world today? They'd probably be freaking out, be like, what do you mean you have giant metal birds you fly in? I think I saw, maybe it was an XKCD comic like that, where it's like the founding fathers brought to modern day America, and they're like, so what do you think of this? And Benjamin Franklin's being like, what are all these crazy wonders you've built? Hey, thank you for the lurk. Yeah, we solved this super hard puzzle. Could have never figured out what that was supposed to mean. Automod, what? I don't know, what were we trying to type, Mel? Even I can't see it. So that's like a Twitch thing, specifically. Just sending a letter we click on instantly. It's so handy to... I could have written so many things to the Corinthians! Yeah, if it straight up removed your message, that's not even my auto mod. That is just Twitch's auto mod. Like, their Supra auto mod. You know what you think you're doing. Stop it. Huh. Maybe it thought you were like some sort of a spam bot trying to put it on like a website. Because like normally, if someone tries to put a link in like that would have done unintentionally, it would show up as asterisks in my chat. So there's something... Yeah, and dot gets... I don't know what it is about the word dot, but that gets auto-modded all the time. Oh, URL... That, and yet they still don't stop the bots who are like, 5 viewers at such and such. I gotta run that with a follower-only chat. Yep. Okay, we'll finish going around the roof here, and then we'll call it for the day. The other viewer is a spam bot? Wow, that was a sophisticated spam bot, to be honest.
Ah.
Oh, a spam bot. Because there was another person at the beginning there, and I was like, that was a really, that would have been really sophisticated for a spam bot.
Oh, Grunty's gold. I would show and she'll be mad. Now it's gone.
Yes, I'm mad. My boot all put up your useless spooky butt.
But okay, but that is where we are going to call it for the day. So thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Join us again tomorrow. I'll be live on Peter's channel, as well as it will also be broadcast to this channel through tech wizardry. I don't fully understand it. But Game of Favorites, come vote for me. It'll be Around the World in 80 Days themed. It should be fun. I have a funny costume prepared, I hope. Monday will be Dream Drop Distance, potentially the last one. Tuesday, more In His Time. Wednesday, Minecraft. And Thursday, more Banjo-Kazooie. So again, thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. And hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And let's see who's live that we can raid into. Gonna send you on over to Rico is to Rico. I haven't rated him in a while. He's playing some Minecraft. Looks like probably maybe vanilla even. Raid call is Father Raid. As usual, spam any emotes you got. And again, hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Take care. God bless.